everyone. It's just past sunrise in Death Valley National Park, and I'd like to welcome you to my 4th Death Valley Discovery video. For this one, I've parked along Highway 190, about 2 miles north of the elevation sea level sign, which would also be about 1 mile south of the junction of Highway 190 and the North Hwy. I'm hiking into the foothills of the Funeral Mountains to share with you a very special discovery that myself and my friend Tobin made on January 1st, 2016, which is called Double Bridge and Squeeze Slot. And I will tell you more about both of those as we get into the hike. The sun is coming up brightly in the sky. For this hike, it can either be done as an out and back to Double Bridge, or for those with more experience in navigating, handling challenging terrain, they might be able to do the loop that I'm doing this morning, which is to both Double Bridge and Squeeze Slot. The small rise or bench seen in the wash right here divides the two sides of the loop. So here I'm heading up the southern fork, which is going to lead to Double Bridge, but I'll come out the other side of the bench there, the north fork, which drains from Squeeze Slot in that surrounding area. That right there is the bench, which should be on the left side of you as you enter into Double Bridge Canyon. So if you don't see that on the left, that means you're in the wrong place, right as you're starting out. It's a fairly wide wash here to begin this hike toward Double Bridge Slot. There are some really nice views as this hike gets started, looking into the grapevines. Corkscrew Peak and Thimble Peak really stand out from this spot. As you can see, walking in the wash here, and it can get a bit tedious. So what I do at this point, about a half mile in, is I just veer over and climb up on this bench or plateau above the wash. And now check out the terrain. Very smooth, easy walking for quite a while. Just above the wash on the right side. Here's the view as I'm hiking above the wash, looking down into the wash. A lot faster hiking up here above. When the first main side canyon is spotted off to the left, that's a good time to scramble down off of this bench. The earlier getting off it, the better. Otherwise, as you can see, it is a little bit steep and loose running down this. So that's the first side canyon passing by, while the main canyon continues to the right. Finding previously unknown natural bridges in Death Valley National Park has been a very important aspect of my exploration. One of the reasons that I go out there into places that people have never checked out before or reported on has been to search for natural bridges such as the one you're going to see here, Double Bridge. And this area is kind of hidden in plain sight. So you have countless tourists and people driving past this area on Highway 190, but nobody would ever stop to think there might be something hidden back here, because it just doesn't look like there would be. Doesn't look like an interesting area. At this point, there's about a half mile left, hiking up to get to Double Bridge. The wash obviously has narrowed considerably. The shallow canyon walls on each side. The hike from the parking area to Double Bridge is about, or maybe a little over 2 miles one way. It's not really that far. You can see the canyon walls on the left starting to grow quite a bit in height. Right here, conglomerate rock walls of considerable height. This is a neat spot looking back down the canyon at that wall right there. Looking around, there's a couple pinnacles and some formations coming out of the hillside. And right here is the turnoff spot out of the main canyon into Double Bridge Slot, which is to the left right here. Go ahead and show you the approach here. About to walk around the corner and get to Double Bridge. From right here, you can see, looking ahead, that it does appear like there's going to be a really nice slot canyon with tight narrows, and that's exactly what is there. Just walking into the slot right here where it begins. Right here is Double Bridge. Here's a closer look at Double Bridge. That's the right side opening. It's about 4 feet tall. The crawl or duck down is going through. The left side opening there, you have to step up to walk through it. And looking all the way up. And here are the 2 spans that make up the Double Bridge. Here's the first bridge. And the second bridge. The only known double natural bridge in Death Valley National Park. So as mentioned, Double Bridge is the only double natural bridge that has been found so far in Death Valley National Park. The top span, you can see right here, stretching across. And the bottom span right here. Something interesting as well about Double Bridge is that the NPS, National Park Service, thought this discovery was so important that for a time they were leading guided adventure hikes to bring visitors or tourists out here to see Double Bridge in person, so that they could check it out and see this area. So very neat aspect of this discovery. Just want to take a moment and show what the bridges look like from the back side. That's the upper arch right there. Really nice looking formation. And then just backing up here, this here is the lower arch. Right there. Just before I head inside, I want to draw attention. Notice there's a crack here in one of the bridges. So keep in mind this is a fragile formation here, Double Bridge. So if you happen to visit this area, be careful in and around the bridge itself and the formation and the slot. I want to keep this standing, hopefully, for many years to come, for future visitors to be able to enjoy and appreciate. This spot right here, I named the dark spot because up ahead, the canyon gets very dark and it doesn't look like there's gonna be a way through. This spot right here, as double bridge slot starts to tighten up, it's a good turnaround spot for most people, for regular hikers, to turn around and head back the way that they came. Because coming up here, there's a boulder that's fallen into the canyon that has to be climbed over or crawled under. And just beyond, a couple small boulders to duck under, but the slot gets very tight right here. This part is hard for most people, including myself, to squeeze through. I actually had to climb up above that spot to get over it. And I'm gonna climb just up above to get past this part. But the reason that this is a good turnaround spot for most people is if you're hiking alone and you were to slip into the slot and get stuck, it might be hard to get a rescue. Call for help, nobody would know you're here. So that's why that's a good turnaround spot if you're hiking all alone. This is looking back down the area I kind of climbed over and through. Right here, the canyon splits into two forks, the left fork, the right fork. I'm taking the right fork. Still quite tight here for a bit. Just beyond the tight section there in the right fork, the area totally opens up quite wide. And I'm doing a crossover now to get to another area and loop back. Kind of just winding up toward the top of these foothills, toward where these drainages go. Just climbed up that drainage. Popped up above the drainage on a ridge and heading in this direction with the view of the grapevines in front of me. Right down there, that's that wash. Been following for quite a while, and this little jagged section is kind of like a marker. You can see the next canyon down below it. So here's the view walking up to the edge of the cliff. That's the canyon I want to get into down there. Right here it's not safe to drop down, so I'm going to continue along this ridge line, walking in this direction. And here's the spot where I usually go down, but might be a little steeper for most people. Hiking poles would help. Wish I had them today, but I'm okay getting down that, but some people may not be. This is loose, slippery rock. You can see why hiking poles would help and why some people may not want to do this. And again, that's why maybe if anyone's watching this and wants to go see Double Bridge, maybe that's best as a standalone destination, an out and back hike rather than a loop like I'm doing. For me, this is not that bad to get down. Making short work of it here. And got through the hard stuff. Just scrambled down this right here. That right there is the slope I came down. Took me about 3-4 minutes or so, and I'm down in the main wash of the canyon I'm using to loop back. But there's a reason for being here, which I'll show you in just a minute. Notice this canyon wall, how a section there of the conglomerate rock broke off and fell down. But even more dramatically right here, this section of wall fell down, forming a false natural bridge. False meaning it's not a true natural bridge. Look in here. That's pretty neat how this all collapsed and fell down right here. Just a short distance down canyon from that fallen hillside or canyon wall is a place which I call Squeeze Slot. One of the tightest slot canyons that can be found in Death Valley, where somebody could barely fit through depending on fitness level. But I'm going to go briefly into Squeeze Slot. I'm not going to go that far. I can't make it that far. But I'll also try to show it to you from above. A safety alert for this area. It's not a good idea to go into Squeeze Slot if you're alone, solo hiking, or to walk along the rim, because you could slip into the slot and get stuck and nobody would ever find you. You wouldn't be able to call for help. So I'm gonna just go in a short distance and show you what it looks like. Okay, heading into Squeeze Slot. Starts off tight right away, but it will get tighter. Here's a spot where I have to crawl through. I can't fit up above. This is not easy. See if I can stand up here again without hitting my head like I have in past times. Going through here. Truly am squeezing another crawl through spot. Crazy place. To crawl through this next spot, I can't fit. I never could figure out how to capture this area with photographs because there's so many tight bends, but maybe this video experience will show it a little bit better. You can see, look how close this is. Even closer down here. Just trying to fit through Squeeze Slot. And I think right here I'm going to go ahead and stop. Let me show you what it looks like beyond here. Turn the camera around. I think I've pressed it through here far enough. I'm going to turn back. I got past the crawling sections, working my way back out of squeeze slot. That was a challenge there of climbing and squeezing. I could have gone a little bit farther, but again, I'm out here alone, and as I myself stated, it's not a good idea to go into squeeze slot alone. I was familiar with the slot, having done it 4 times, but back out safely. I'm just going to jump on the hillside briefly to take a look. I've exited squeeze slot, just walking a little bit down canyon, seeing if there's a way to jump up on that hillside. To get above squeeze slot, I went down canyon a little ways, caught a side canyon up to the end, and then scrambled over the hillside. I'm going to show you the view into squeeze slot from above, but remember what I said. It's not a good idea to walk too close to the edge, because if somebody slipped into squeeze slot, they would get stuck and they wouldn't be able to get out of there, especially if they were solo hiking. So right there is where squeeze slot takes shape. It forms and cuts into the hillside right here, makes a wide bend. Again, I'm fairly back from the edge, just sticking the camera pole over into squeeze slot. Kind of a nice way to show the view without getting too close. I'm going to walk along the edge here, paying close attention to what I'm doing. Take a look here at squeeze slot from above. I'm going to get back a little bit here. Right over here is where it really tightens up. I have seen a couple people make it all the way through, but I would not be one of them. Look at how tight this gets. It continues right through to here. And this is where squeeze slot comes to an end. It's a little over 2 miles from squeeze slot back to the parking area. So I'm going to be enjoying some of the canyon walls and views looking toward the Panamint Mountains. A couple chunks of canyon wall there. Conglomerate rock have broken off and dropped into the wash here. As you can see, the canyon walls are shallow on both sides. Not very high, but very easy walking terrain. Nice sandy wash. Great view while walking down this wash of Hwy Mountain, right there in the center. Continuing down the long, wide open wash. Drainage is heading directly towards where I parked. This wash has great walking terrain, but I'm just going to jump up onto this bench on the left side of the wash to compare it. Usually a little bit firmer ground on the benches above the washes, so you can walk faster. And indeed, this has quickened my pace just a bit because the ground is firmer. Walking along this bench above the wash on the left side. Good decision there. This is kind of a neat spot right here. I'm on the bench or the embankment between the two canyon forks. So right here on the left, looking south, that's the canyon I went up, which leads to Double Bridge. And then here's the embankment in the middle. And then here on the right side, or looking to the north, that's the canyon leading down from Squeeze Slot. So I'm right in the middle of the two forks right here on this nice ground. Just jumped down from the embankment and I'm not far from my truck. I can see it right here. Just another 5 minutes or so to get to my truck. That's about it for my 4th Death Valley Discovery hiking video. Hope you enjoyed checking out Double Bridge and Squeeze Slot and hearing about some of the things that went into the discovery and the uniqueness of that area in Death Valley National Park. That will do it for this hiking season for me in Death Valley. I do have more discovery videos to share with you, but those will have to come next hiking season. So I hope you enjoyed the first 4 and we'll look forward to more in the future. Goodbye everyone.